Hello, I'm Professor Paul Trowler in the Department of Educational Research at Lancaster University. I'm Research Director for the department and Co-Director of here at Lancaster, the Higher Education Research and Evaluation Centre, and I look after the research side of that. My specialisms are all to do with higher education, different aspects of that. For example, I'm interested in policy at the national and also global levels, and the implementation of policy. I'd describe myself as a policy sociologist. So I'm particularly interested in how policy gets implemented on the ground and the reasons why sometimes the outcomes of higher education policy are somewhat different from the intentions of policymakers, be that government ministers or vice-chancellors or the top teams of universities, and down to departmental level. I'm probably best known for my work on academic tribes and territories, which looks at different academic cultures in disciplines in higher education and the relationship between those and the nature of the disciplines themselves. So Academic Tribes and Territories, there have been 3 editions of that book, each time moving along a little in terms of the argument. My work on student engagement is also quite well known. There have been 2 projects for the Higher Education Academy and for the Leadership Foundation for Higher Education, looking at the nature of student engagement and the critical success factors in universities for successful student engagement. Students' engagement with learning, with knowledge, engagement in the sense of representation on committees and so on, including at national level, and student engagement in the sense of student identity and a sense of community and belonging, and how that can change and how it can be encouraged. Some other recent work has been about approaches to research in art and design and how they might be usefully applied in other disciplines, and particularly in research into higher education itself. And also I look at methodological and theoretical issues. So for example, recently I've been looking at ethnography and particularly looking at a social practice theory approach to ethnographic research, in-depth research that looks at cultures in universities. And finally, just thinking about recent work, I've looked at the relationship between the kinds of data that we collect when we research higher education and how that relates to the theory that we apply, how the 2 things, data and theory, interact. I've written obviously quite a number of academic books and journal articles and so on, but I'm particularly interested in writing also in an accessible way for emergent researchers and particularly for doctoral researchers into higher education. So as well as those academic books which have been translated into a number of languages, I've written 4 small handbooks, you could call them, I suppose, for doctoral researchers into higher education, and those are available through Amazon on the Kindle platform. You don't need a Kindle, you can use it on any kind of device, including a computer, a Mac or a PC, just by downloading the free Kindle software. So those take some of the, if you like, more high-powered academic product and translate them in a way that's useful for doctoral students who are just beginning to think about what they might want to research, how they would research it, which kinds of theories they might most usefully apply, how to structure their doctoral thesis, and so on. Current work, well, the current project that we're involved with is a Higher Education Academy funded review of policies around enhancing learning and teaching in English universities. And really there we're looking at the Funding Council, the role of the Funding Council, HEFCE, and its role particularly in terms of enhancing learning and teaching in universities in England. The kinds of things that they've done, how successful they've been with those policy initiatives, and what might be the role for HEFCE, the Funding Council, in the future in England. Whether it has a role, in fact, in trying to influence and enhance learning and teaching in universities, and if not, what other institutions, what other bodies might be involved, and also more broadly, what is the future of higher education in England? What does the future hold for us, and what might that mean for policies intended to enhance learning and teaching? So that's a broad summary of my work at Lancaster and the specialisms and kinds of writing that I do.